Mysterious tunnels and remote caves hide far more than just creepy creatures.
But seriously, this is insane looking. Like, I can look at this all day.
From ominous craters to blazing hell itself.
I'm almost directly above the most violently burning parts.
There's a lot to uncover within the unknown realms of this world.
Oh, that is creepy weird.
So, stick around to see what happened when experts discovered a staircase to nowhere. In the blistering desert of Turkmenistan lies this strange site, the Gateway to Hell, also called the Darvaza Natural Gas Crater. This blazing pit is wide enough to engulf a small village and deep enough that you wouldn't want to take a peek down, as it'll leave anyone feeling lightheaded. The crater, which formed naturally in 1970, has been burning non-stop for over 50 years. But now, officials have decided to extinguish the flames and close the site for good, saying this step is necessary to reduce pollution and safeguard the health and safety of nearby residents. Great Pyramid. Ever wondered what lies inside those bigger-than-life-looking pyramids? Let's take a look. The Great Pyramid is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the only one still mostly intact. Egyptologists believe it was constructed as a tomb for the 4th dynasty pharaoh Khufu, and estimate that its construction took place in the 26th century BC, over a span of approximately 27 years. Imagine standing inside a structure that's so complex and extraordinary that even experts were suspicious how humans alone could have made it. Definitely makes for one heck of an adventure. This is another 2,000-year-old staircase inside the ancient Egyptian temple of Dendera. The walls are filled with depictions of ancient priests bringing offerings to the gods, such as the favorite drink of the time, beer. Isn't it amazing how these ancient places have been preserved so well all time? Cave fire. Out on a hiking trip, burning ground would be the last thing you'd want to see. But this is exactly what happened to this guy. The tiny space under the rocks seemed to be hosting a fire. With no apparent source, the guy had no idea how that fire was burning. And that's not it. Here's another one. And this clip went viral as people claimed to have found hell on Earth. But fire burning underground isn't something new. Like this one. This Centralia mine fire in Pennsylvania has been burning up since the 60s, with no signs of going out. And remember the well of hell we saw earlier? So, hell isn't unleashed on us yet. Petrified Giant.
Oh, shit, that is creepy weird.
A group of friends decided to explore the secrets of Tellecrae Abbey, Wales. And while looking around the caves, they came across this. A bizarre skull embedded into the stone wall. The sight was as creepy as it was fascinating. But the skull wasn't it. There were its arms spread out on the wall. The cave was filled with all kinds of bizarre stuff. Like this dinosaur-like face, and this giant's face.
Oh, okay, what, there's a cyclops?
Oh yeah,
what?
shit.
This would be such a mad place to take mushrooms.
As these clips circulated online, the internet was divided. Some thought these were just carving in the wall. Others suggested these could be remains of petrified giants that lived in the ancient times. But for now, their origin is an unanswered question. Car Cave.
But seriously, this is insane looking. Like, I can look at this all day.
An old flooded slate mine in North Wales, known as the Gaywern Slate Mine, became a dumping ground for old cars, TVs, microwaves, and other rubbish since its closure in the 1970s.
Look at down there. Oh my god.
The cave was rediscovered by explorers, and pictures of its eerie beauty have attracted a lot of visitors. This newfound interest led many brave explorers to go down a perilous 20-meter descent and use inflatable boats to cross the lake to reach the site.
Unbelievable, Dan. This is where you got off?
When concerns were raised about the destruction of the area due to visitors trashing and drawing graffiti all over the mine, volunteers came together to save the mine from the ruins.
Here. It's so sad to see.
underground screams. Like other rivers, the Euphrates also continues to dry up, and excavations at various sites were underway, and something strange has been uncovered. Workers reported hearing eerie sounds coming from underground caves. The alleged screams were unsettling, as if a giant trapped within was roaring at full force. While the internet buzzed with speculations, the news surprisingly made no headlines. Some believe the sounds could be linked to the 4 angels bound to the river, as mentioned in the Bible, while others speculated it might be a beast trapped in the bottomless pit, set to rise when the end times approach. Could this be a sign of the apocalypse, or just an elaborate hoax? Let me know what you think. Underwater cave. With receding water level, new mysteries are uncovered every day. Like this underwater cave that was once covered with river water, now looks like an underground cave. With a staircase leading toward its entrance, the cave seemed to be filled with water. A Syrian activist recorded this clip and showed it to the world. Believed to be about hundreds of years old, the cave was claimed to be part of an ancient city in the town of Al-Raqqa. Ritual cave? As if caves weren't already creepy enough. What if you came across a cave and found something like this? An explorer lived this nightmare when he came across an abandoned house, and exploring it became a mistake. He found this cave and took a peek inside. The huge space was littered with bizarre stuff, but the star of the show were these 2 creepy-looking humanoid figures hung upside down. One of them even had an arrow snapping through its midsection. That wasn't all, as another room was filled with humanoid skulls. I guess the space pretty much speaks for itself, a site for satanic rituals or a crime scene waiting to be uncovered. The truth behind this discovery has remained hidden. Tennessee crater.
That is a gorgeous pit. Oh my god.
All forests hide secrets within their depths, but what lies in this Tennessee forest will definitely leave you shocked. Within the forest, there's a sinkhole, although it's pretty massive. If you didn't know about it, you'd be in big trouble. These guys decided to venture into the sinkhole to find what lies beneath. Going 200 feet deep into the earth, they found a whole maze of tunnels that were opened up when the ground finally gave way.
Bummer, because I'm freezing.
This skyscraper-sized hole looked like a ruse for the secret cave system. Even though the adventure seems fun, I'll never be going down that pit.
What's Alex is saying something about a traverse line over here.
Skull Cave.
Just wanted to show you guys.
Get ready to be spooked out by this scary sight. While exploring the Dowini Island, Papua New Guinea, this explorer came across this cave filled with a whole lot of human skulls. The cave's pretty old and no one knows where all these skulls came from. Some locals believe they might belong to victims of sacrificial rituals that took place in the cave in ancient times. And if this cave wasn't enough to scare you out of your wits, then have a look at this one in the Philippines. Brimming with remains, this cave is said to have about 500 to 1,000 years old human bones. Although their source has remained unknown, it's scary to think that all these people went through something horrible to have their remains in a pile like this.
What are they, little kids?
Shoes and bones. You might have seen all kinds of stuff inside a cave, but have you seen shoes? Not 1 or 2, but enough to make you think there was an undercover shoe factory in the cave. As the guy went ahead with his exploration, he found bones lying towards the other side of the cave. These shoes and bones. What do you think happened in this cave? From what I've seen, it looks like some crazy shoe-obsessed person might have been staying there, preying on animals. Secret chamber. A small doorway in the stone wall, in a remote location, this discovery ticked all the boxes for being strange. Not only that there was a long stairway leading to the door high from the ground, but the question was, what was inside that door? Seems like no one has dared to explore the inside. Could this be a base for unknown activity? Or was this an ancient monument harboring secrets from the past? Well, the mystery stays unsolved for now. Giant's Hideout. Back in 2016, a bizarre video from Giant's Causeway in the UK sparked a wave of investigations. A tourist, while exploring the natural reserve, accidentally filmed a massive wall of rocks seemingly opening and closing, all on its own. This led to speculation, with some suggesting that a giant might have been retreating into the rocks, or possibly entering hibernation for the winter. An investigation followed, during which each stone was carefully examined, but no concrete evidence was uncovered. Whether a giant was living there remained unconfirmed, but the mysterious event certainly drew an influx of curious visitors to the site. Blue Lakes. A group of explorers were out exploring the abandoned mines when they found this. An underground stairway flooded with water. The blue water seemed like they were a gateway to another world, and these were the claims of many people, where some said these mines actually served as pathways to Atlantis, the ancient lost empire of advanced technology. Other people who got to go underneath found lakes upon lakes of the same pristine blue water. The city of Atlantis was believed to have sinked underwater, and it could be hiding under these blue lakes. Hole in the earth.
Set up, and we're gonna send it down this pit.
While exploring deep into the woods, these guys came across this hole in the ground. With autumn leaves littered everywhere, it might have been hard to spot, but these guys luckily found it. Not just a hole, it turned out to be a 220 feet deep sinkhole in the forest ground. Can you imagine accidentally slipping into it? A nightmare of a journey it would be. The guys didn't get the memo when ventured into the sinkhole. However, I'd suggest you steer clear of these deep sinkholes. At first glance, it might look like a very similar sinkhole in the ground. But as the guy pointed the camera toward its mouth, something far more creepy appeared. Back rooms. You probably know the theory that these back rooms are impossibly large, extra-dimensional expanses of empty rooms. Could this sinkhole be proof that other dimensions do exist? Or is it all just myths?
I don't want to talk too much, just...
Cave doorway. I don't think anyone would have known there's a cave in that stone wall. Looks like this guy just revealed his secret spot to everyone. The gates opened and a small space emerged. As the clip was posted online, people came up with all kinds of claims. Some said it was probably an abandoned portal hidden in the wall, while others had ideas about a doorway to another world. Forest tunnel. While out on an exploration trip in the woods, these guys seem to have discovered something truly extraordinary. As he realized that the grass wall has a small piece hanging loose, he went ahead, picked it out, and found a human-sized rabbit hole leading into an underground cave. But it turned out to be a whole tunnel. As they walked through the dark, narrow tunnel, they could tell where it led to. Now the discovery of this cave left people speculating that it might be a time portal tunnel used by time travelers. Even though it sounds like a scene out of a mind-bending sci-fi, it makes you wonder what actually lies in these hidden corners. Stairs to nowhere. Remember the door we saw earlier that seems to lead to nowhere? Looks like we have another member to the club. A guy came across his staircase in a small town that seemed to be there just for the show. The structure nearby didn't make any sense of what it could be. However, people have given their opinion on what it could be. Many think it was part of an old building that was ruined, leaving behind just this staircase. Tunnel in the forest. Scary sights are nothing new when out and about in the woods. But what if you found something like this? While walking around the forest somewhere in England, this guy discovered this path covered in a wooden shed. And it wasn't just a small part. It looked like someone had intentionally made that. As its purpose and who made remains unknown, many people have suggested it was either built by some unknown creature taking refuge in the woods, or it could be used to perform sinister satanic rituals in the middle of nowhere. Cave exploration.
Oh my god. They say Levi Strauss.
While exploring an abandoned silver mine 500 feet underground, a group of explorers discovered a bag of 100-year-old dynamite, which could still be dangerous.
And inside the leather bag was sticks. Dynamite. I'm talking like tons of full sticks.
After carefully pouring it out, they continued their exploration and came across a 100-foot deep pit, which they crossed using old mine tracks, random graffiti on the walls, and another bag of dynamite. As their journey came to an end, one of the guys stumbled upon old Levi's buttons and thought they might have found a rare and valuable pair of vintage Levi's hidden in the mine.
Oh my god. They say Levi Strauss.
Miners run. This group of miners were working on this site when suddenly the ground started to move on its own and loud shouts were heard. The guys, scared out of their minds, quickly left their posts and ran away. As the clip circulated online, people came up with a lot of theories. Some thought these were underground civilizations who didn't like the construction going on in their territory. Others just chalked it off as a prank. Let me know what you think of this. Iran Tunnel. At first glance, you might think this scene is right out of Stranger Things. This clip of an underground tunnel in Iran has been going viral, and people think this tunnel could be a route to an underground base, something similar to what we saw in the sci-fi series. Built in an extremely remote location, and that massive truck going in made it all the more suspicious. Could it be a massive bunker the country built in preparation of doomsday? Or was the reason behind its construction far more sinister? Share your thoughts on this in the comments. Egyptian tomb. The mysterious tombs of Egypt just got a whole lot stranger. These guys, while exploring the inside of a tomb, discovered a very bizarre sight. Using a flashlight, they found that the different sides of the same wall glowed differently under the light. On one side, with all the inscriptions, the flash glowed with an orange halo. While on the other side, with hieroglyphics, the flash seemed to brighten the wall from the inside with a bright white glow. As Egyptian hieroglyphics are famous for being the language used to communicate with extraterrestrials, people thought this might be proof that these were more than just symbols. Dragon remains. Finding remains of historic giants is pretty awesome. Have a look at what this guy found while out exploring the caves of Greece. Perched on top of a stone were the skeletal remains of a creature. Long neck, small skull, and a huge tail. Judging by its features, it seemed to be a giant. As they had no clear idea to whom these remains belonged to, they let the internet be the judge. Some folks thought these were the remains of a dragon. Others suggested it could be a carved statue. Although there wasn't a clear answer, the origin of these bones have remained a mystery. Door to nowhere. If you ever feel useless, just know that this door exists. Placed in the middle of nowhere, no one has any idea why this door is there. With a small, muddy stairway leading to it, this door has become a source of fascination for many. While some netizens think that the Anywhere door from the Japanese cartoon Doraemon, others suggest it might be the only remaining piece of a house that was probably destroyed years ago. Cave paintings. Now let's take a walk into the Magura Cave in Bulgaria. Believed to be about 15 million years old, the cave features a total of 700 paintings, and they range from different time periods, from Stone Age to early Bronze Age. In the cave, our ancestors left us paintings of animals, men, and women, cult rituals, one of the first calendars from the Neolithic ages, with 366 days for 1 year, hunting scenes, and so much more. The paintings are believed to be made from bat guano and show what life was like back in the days. AntiWitch Marks.
Here we've got a chamber which is absolutely covered in witch marks, the ceiling and all the walls, and what these are here for is in order to ward off evil of all sorts.
Within the caverns of Creswell Crags, among prehistoric art, a remarkable find was made. What was once thought to be graffiti has now been identified as hundreds of anti-witch marks etched into the walls. These chilling symbols, carved by fearful hands, were intended to repel evil spirits and witches, highlighting the deep-rooted superstitions of the past.
These depths, and the purpose of the marks was to trap them, preventing them from escaping into the outside world.
The medieval carvings feature Latin initials of Jesus and depictions of the Virgin Mary. They stand as a reminder that even in the most troubling times, humanity has always sought ways to face and overcome its fears.
We were both looking along this wall behind, and we did pick up a couple of the sort of the conjoined V's. They're quite faint, but both of us knew that that was the sort of thing that we'd seen in other locations. You never really thought that it would go to escalate to anything like this at all.
Ancient remains. Archaeologists in Mexico made an exciting discovery of a 1500-year-old pre-Hispanic tomb in Colima. Inside the tomb, they found a long-faced shaman statue, believed to guide souls in Mesoamerican culture. This statue, holding a weapon that might be an axe, was standing at the entrance, guarding the tomb's main burial. Remarkably, the tomb also contained the remains of children and small dogs, which is rare since such tombs are often looted. Dating back between 0 and 500 AD, archaeologists are now studying the tomb further, including 6 pots inside, to see if they contain seeds or other organic remains.
La figurilla del chamán es un personaje que está de pie y está sosteniendo una especie de arma en las manos.
Carved City. Grotta Dei Servi is a prehistoric cave near Porto Badisco, often called the Sistine Chapel of Prehistory because of its amazing Neolithic paintings. Discovered back in February 1970 by Salento archaeologists, it features 3 long, connected corridors running underground. The cave holds around 3,000 ancient figures, dating back between 8,000 and 5,000 years ago. It's famous for its hunting scenes of deer and symbolic geometric designs that show the life and beliefs of early Salento people. To protect this delicate site, Grotta Dei Servi is closed to the public in efforts to preserve its prehistoric treasures. Ancient Mexican skeleton. Back in 2014, an investigation uncovered the skeleton of a girl in a Mexican cave. Surprisingly, the skeleton was estimated to be at least 12,000 years old and believed to be about 16 years of age when she passed away. Not only an amazing discovery, it sheds light on ancient human history in the Americas. Experts believe the cave may offer clues about early human migration and life, as it has never been explored before. And now, researchers are analyzing the remains to gain insights into prehistoric civilizations. Crystal Skull.
Can you see? Tucked away.
The group of explorers discovered something truly extraordinary while venturing into the black hole of Belize. A crystal skull, tucked between crystals underground. It's believed to be about 1,000 years old, linked to a Mayan sacrificial ritual. The reason it's so special is because the skull is fully encased in crystal. It's probably the atmosphere in the cave that pristinely preserved the skull for so long. I wonder what life would have been like back in the day. Probably not perfect seeing these remains from sacrificial remains. Catacombs.
You'll have thigh bones stacked up in places. You'll have skulls stacked in other places.
Beneath Paris lies a network of tunnels known as the Catacombs, containing the bones of over 6 million people, often displayed in creative and artistic ways. Now, to answer the question as to why all these bones were there. Well, back in the day, to solve the problem of overcrowded cemeteries, bones were moved into the catacombs in 1785, and the site was open to visitors in 1809. The arrangement of bones in the catacombs conflicts with traditional Christian burial customs, and unlike sacred burial sites, the catacombs have raised questions about the respect given to the deceased by relocating their remains underground. According to locals, moving so many bones has unleashed a dark and sinister presence that still lingers in the catacombs. Skeleton cache. Amateur archaeologists have made a major discovery on Gran Canaria. They uncovered a tomb with the ancient remains of a lost civilization. Using a drone, they found 72 mummified bodies, including 62 adults and 10 newborns, in a ravine. Experts believe these remains belong to the Guanche civilization, dating back to between 800 and 1000 AD. At the site, archaeologists found burial shrouds made from plant fibers and animal skin, showing that these ancient people had specific burial customs. The cave is 23 feet off the ground, making it hard to reach. The amateur group discovered the cave in June 2019. They kept it secret until recently, worried about vandalism or looting. The find could lead to new research in archaeology. Hanging coffins. A very strange sight awaits tourists in Sagada, Philippines. The hanging coffins, a burial tradition of the Igorot people that have been practiced for 400 to 500 years, with the deceased placed in coffins hung on cliffs or inside caves. This ritual is believed to connect the dead with their ancestral spirits and maintain their bond with the living. The last burial took place in 2010, with elders traditionally carving their own coffins from local wood and positioning bodies in a fetal position to symbolize a return to the womb. The process involves relatives carrying the wrapped body to the burial site, believing that any liquid dripping from the coffin brings good luck. This unique practice attracts thousands of visitors each year, providing a significant boost to the local economy despite Sagada's remote location, about 5,000 feet above sea level. Giant finger. In April 1988, an explorer traveled to Egypt, eager to uncover the mysteries of the Great Pyramid and its potential cosmic energy properties, but he found nothing special. While discussing his quest with a local, he was introduced to a grave robber with stories of mysterious artifacts from his ancestors. For a couple bucks, the robber showed the explorer an astonishing mummified finger, measuring 16 inches long and 3 inches thick. Although he mentioned a secret chamber beneath the Great Pyramid filled with empty tombs, he refused to sell the finger and only allowed to take photographs. Despite the frequent dismissal of ancient giants by historians, the guy was sure the finger was proof, and future discoveries might shed light on their existence, as they are mentioned in various religious texts. Hidden Israeli ecosystem. The whole world was in for a surprise when Israeli scientists discovered a lost planet in a cave lake that has been isolated from the outside world for millions of years. They found an ancient ecosystem with 8 new species of crustaceans and invertebrates near the city of Ramli, with cave passages spanning 1.5 miles long and located 328 feet underground in a limestone quarry. The underground lake is home to creatures that look like scorpions and shrimp. This discovery shows how little we know about life on Earth. The new animals are protected by a thick layer of chalk that keeps out water and nutrients. Similar caves exist in Mexico and Romania, but this one is the most remote, and interestingly, these new species survive in a self-sustaining ecosystem, unlike many animals that rely on sunlight for food. Antarctic Ecosystem. A PhD student researching in Antarctica sent his camera down a 93 deep hole into the ice. The purpose was to find some of the oldest ice on our planet that can reveal a lot about the ancient history of our planet's environment and climate. That's not all. Another group of scientists have made a surprising discovery of a hidden ecosystem under Antarctica's ice. They drilled deep into the ice and sent down a tiny 5mm camera to explore what's below. The camera captured images of hundreds, maybe even thousands of unknown species living there. These creatures kept bumping into the camera, showing that life is abundant down there. Now the researchers plan to keep investigating this exciting new world. Underground hell. When this clip circulated online, people were left scared, thinking this guy has found a way into hell. Apparently, using giant pliers, this guy picked out a brick, and right under the ground, a bright orange fire burned like it was ready to swallow whatever you put in. As more and more people became suspicious, the truth behind this clip surfaced, and it turns out this was an underground brick kiln. The fire was burning to bake bricks. It's crazy how simple things become a whole lot crazy without any context. Abandoned building. This building in the mountains of Guizhou, China, gives a new meaning to the whole abandoned place. A recent drone exploration led to this strange discovery. Hidden among the hills was this mysterious building that has raised many questions. The structure is present in such a remote location that no one knows how it was even built. Its purpose remains unknown. Who constructed it, or how the materials were transported to such an elusive spot. With limited exploration in the region and the location being difficult to access, the building remains a mystery, waiting for more to be uncovered. Could it be a base for secret operation, or something far sinister was at play here? Let me know your guess in the comments. Now it's time for today's open discussion. This picture of a mysterious staircase in the middle of the desert has been going around online, and it was captured in the desert of Abu Rawash, near the pyramids of Giza. This staircase is strangely carved directly into the bedrock and descends into an open space. As the place is filled with garbage and water, it's hard to tell the full depth of the space. Visible tool markings on the walls are strikingly uniform, seemingly following a consistent pattern. The staircase is about 30 meters deep, and just 20 meters away from it, there is a man-made cave that appears to have been created by the same people who built the stairs, making the site all the more mysterious. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.